The views and opinions on the Craig L. Hay Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate ownership or management. And now, back to the show. All right, we're back with Talbot Snow on episode 13. We've done 13 of these together, and we're going to talk a little bit about a song that we probably should never have done because it took all these different pieces and parts from it's the only cover we've done. We only did one cover, and then we took and turned it into a complete abomination of what it should not have been, but it turned out to be awesome. And
Yep.
so, the song was originally by Johnny Nash. It's called "I Can See Clearly Now," but then we got this idea. It'd be cool is if we took a loop from LTT's "Back in Love Again" and slammed them together and see what happens.
It's kind of a mashup kind of a thing.
Yeah, but this is we did this in '91 too, whatever this song came from, and that wasn't being done a lot on stuff like this,
Right.
And no, we never got sued for it. Nobody sued us.
We never really got official clearance for any of it, but
Yeah,
Hey.
but if somebody wants to sue us, I'll tell you how to get a hold of us later,
yes.
and that's fine. We'll give you the royalties of probably $7.83 on that. So just send me a bill. Don't sue me. Just send me a bill. Make it simple. Anyways, anything you want to say about it before we just take a quick listen to it? And
No, we'll go ahead and listen and
okay,
talk more.
it's LTD's "Back in Love Again" mashed up with Johnny Nash's "I Can See Clearly Now," and here it goes. Wrong one.
Yay!
Here it is.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, yeah, bright, sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Johnny Nash with the cash with the hit. LTD, the look made it funky, so it fit. Third of the three, I picture me, the homies from LB. HSB hit the factory. It's plain to see. The strength behind is how I'm bound to be. Mike G, getting funky on the keys. Talbot Snow, kicking vocals guaranteed to please. Craig Hayes, funky rays, he betrays the mixer. Illuminati music and Sammy the Slickster. The rain is gone and the ears can see. Given time to run them up, FOB. 2 points in just this one hit the top. Feel for the flavor, cause the flavor can't stop with a loop. A remake, the time to take to design the vibe.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.
Rain is gone, rain is gone.
I can see all obstacles in my way.
In my way, in my way.
Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind.
Had me black.
It's gonna be a bright, yeah, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, yeah, bright, sunshiny day.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. So
Thank you, LTD. and Johnny Nash. So we didn't sample Johnny Nash, but it was his song that he wrote. And of course, we did it our own way. And then we did use that one, dun 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 dun. What is that? 4 seconds
Yeah, back in love again. Yeah.
of LTD's "Back in Love Again," breaking all the sampling rules and laws of the land. I guess I don't know. Back in those days, they were kind of a lot of gray area about sampling. You know, they weren't. I don't think in the early '90s they hadn't quite figured out all the legalities of some of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have it all figured out now. But
Yeah.
back then it was something different that people were just throwing in bits and pieces like that. And that's why I say, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But it's like,
But as I'm listening to that, I hear Jim McNally on the backup vocals and the drums. He's doing some tasty drum fills and this and that on the percussion, and then I hear Steve March. He did break. That was him like at the end there, and then his wife Charmaine was singing backups in the second verse
okay.
behind me. That was the
I
female.
was going to ask you, I couldn't remember who that was doing that. So
Yeah.
okay.
Steve thought, I guess he thought the song was going to be a big, hit, perhaps, and he wanted to get in on it, and so one way you can do that is throw your voice in there, and he threw his then wife, and himself in there a little bit. Then we have that Samoan duo that came from California. They were friends of Deneen's family. They were from San Francisco. And they were called the Fob Mob, fresh off the boat.
Yep. And they were cool.
Yeah.
Those were good guys, and they came up with that pretty quick on that little.
It was a neat rap, right? They talk about HSP, you and me, and
Yeah.
Mike G.
And then and I have to say that I remember when Steve March, who goes by Stymie,
Uh-huh.
he heard it. He kind of got annoyed because they called him Stymie the Slickster, and it was like, these guys didn't know who Stymie was that much really, and it was like Stymie was a good talker. He could talk his way into any concert, anything, But he thought calling him a Slickster was something bad. It's like, no offense meant, guy. It was just a friendly jab at you for being able to talk your way into things,
Well, in the world of hip hop too, you can sometimes say slickster, and that could be a compliment.
Yeah.
Means that in a way, you're a good negotiator.
And he was. That man could talk all kinds of stuff, man. He was good.
Yep.
So it was like, it's a compliment.
You made my voice sound awesome. Your mixing skills there. I'm listening to that beautiful reverb and echo thing you had on there.
Did we ever talk about what it took to make that happen?
I don't know. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good place anyway. A lot of people sit there and they just throw an echo on there, or they throw a reverb, or they throw something on there, and it doesn't work very well, and they can't figure out why. Well, here's why. Everything that you do in sound, number one, it can't conflict with your echoes, your delays, your reverbs cannot conflict with the original sounds, and it cannot be out of time. Every one of your delays that I picked with you was an exact timing with your
BPM.
the beats. It was, and I would sit there and you probably remember, I would just mute everything and have the snare going, bam,
Yep.
bam. That's all you could hear, and then I'd start programming the delays so they lined up with the snare, the hits, so everything was in time.
He's a tricky boy.
And then the reverbs, you can have multiple slapbacks. You could have all these things on reverbs. How deep are you going? How big of a room? There's so many parameters in it, and you have to sit there and play with it until it fits in there. There's a little piece of the pie it has to fit in, and that's what it takes. And you have to listen to it over and over again until it's right on the money, and it's not, clogging everything up and making everything just sound terrible and just cluttering. Let's
Yeah.
use cluttering.
Yep.
It can't clutter. It has to. The delays have to be on the beat. The reverbs can't have multiple slapbacks going into weird, frequencies. It's careful. It's planning, and How long would that usually take me? We'd start with that, and it would take me an hour or two just to get those things tuned in
Yep.
on the money.
Yep.
And then once it's there, it's just okay, and how much volume do you want it to be at that point? Do you want a lot on that, or do you want just a little bit in the back just to sweeten it,
Say, make me sound beautiful.
We want this so beautiful. You sound so good with this German engineering for me. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're good at that. And say, I, in typical Talbot fashion, I like to throw everything in the kitchen sink in there. And Craig was always the one that helped me to bring it down, hone it down to something tangible and coherent.
Yeah.
So,
And here it is, all the 30 years later, and it's like I'm looking for every kitchen sink thing we can throw in on this.
now we went the other way, right?
Yeah, it's like, and Talbot's having to figure out how to slow me down and calm me down. Yeah, that's the fun of it. That's what makes it so much fun and pleasure doing this stuff.
I got to tell you, when I show people your song here and there, they crack up at those sound effects. Like the monkey, the
Well,
monkeys,
it's hilarious, man.
and the Maoris and everything else.
And and that's like, yeah, we'll talk about it because the song will be done here in the next month or so. But it's a song about hand jive. It's an old song from Shauna Na,
The movie Grease.
the movie Grease, and then we just turned it into what we would do with a song. And then I do a dance break for like a minute, maybe about a minute and a half, whatever it is. And we call it out, like do the twist, do this, do that, and we're throwing in all these special effects, that go along with the call out on it.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it's killer. And even, I picked up my girl and we go in my car real fast, and there's a car that goes, that's the fun, just throwing it in there to where it adds to it, but it doesn't distract from it. That's the key is people want to get carried away with the effects. They want to get carried away with this or that. No, they need to add to the song, not distract from the song.
Yeah, I'll have to show you a song one day that I did where the effects are just absolutely overboard.
Oh, and intentionally so, right?
Yeah, the effects pretty much became almost like the lead singer in a sense of the song. But I was just trying to make a point, having fun with it. But yeah, so that's what you hear that in I Can See Clearly now. Not so much sound effects, but just the fact that we throw in all these different influences, samples, loops, whatever,
Yeah.
with live playing, live singing, live rapping. Mike G was mentioned. I just saw him recently.
No, it's good. How's he doing?
Good.
Oh, good.
He was a keyboard guy, very good keyboard producer, music guy, and he was hanging around with us at that time as well, along with Steve and company, and so he got involved in some of the songs, including that one.
Yeah, that was the period we decided we were going to do a little bit of work with Mo Money Music.
HSP Hit Factory with Mo Money, and
And it was a fun song.
Yep.
It turned out really cool, and
it reminds me when you hear a good song production, including with lots of sound effects or a few sound effects, whatever, just great ideas, great production ideas. As you're listening, it's sort of like, I've heard the term ear candy, it's sort of like it sort of, I don't know, triggers, titillates a little bit. It along with the great song, great hooks and infectious beats, as I like to say, and all of that, nice chord changes and melodies, those things that hook you in, and not to sound corny again, but the prettiness of it, the beauty of good music. Okay, all of that's integrated, and the great production, and then you throw in the the little sprinkling of odd ideas or unusual ideas that come in here and there and only appear maybe once or twice in the whole song. It reminds me of when you're sitting there watching a great movie, you know, and you're not always quite sure what to expect, but the director and everybody, you know, thousands of people these days that put movies together in one movie, you sit there and go, wow, you know, check that out. Wow, check that out. Whoa, look at that. You know, they keep hitting you with these great new ideas, these vistas. Like, I don't know, watching Avatar, you know,
Yeah.
and you think, geez, man, this guy's, you know, from another planet. He created this thing, you know. And you go, I just can't believe, you know, he put this together and I'm watching it on a giant screen, you know. It's the same thing when you're listening to a good song and great production, you know, it just hits your senses in a way like, that was cool. Oh, that's nice. You know, wow, that's unusual. That's a catchy hook, you know. And if you can make it fresh and new, because, you know, at any given time, you know, there's the sound, the mainstream sound, whatever's happening right now, right? And up through the years, up through the decades, there's been different sounds that were dominant, right?
Yep.
Different production approaches, different genres, whatever, different beats per minute that were popular at a given moment in time. And that's where a lot of times the copycats will just follow in those footsteps of whatever those trends are at the time. But we weren't too much like that. We would integrate some pop stuff, you know. We would have some familiarity there, but there'd also be lots of fresh new stuff, and definitely our own flavor, and our new ideas and things. And I that's how I look at it. I listen to our material. I go, oh, that was cool. Ah, that's nice. You know, and it's a real privilege, I think, to sit there and hit the play button and listen on your headphones, all the cool stuff going on.
Yeah. Because in headphones, you can really hear the depth. You can really hear, you know, all the things that are going on, left, right, the separation, you know, the 3D imaging that basically I tried to get out of it. And
Did you get your headphones operating up in Utah? Yeah. So now you can hear all that cool and groovy. It's like we put all that, what do they call it? It's like ragu. It's in there. Mm-hmm. We mixed all the ingredients.
and it's all in there. It is definitely all in there. Well, good. Well, that's all I have to say about that.
Now let's talk about God, sex, and politics. No.
Yeah, you know, all the stuff you're not supposed to ever talk about. So, but I do anyway. So, well, cool. We'll just call that the end of this episode here, and we're going to discuss what our next one's going to be, and then you'll hear back from us in just a couple minutes. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, and I am Craig L. Hayes. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey, I should tell Wendell roughly about what time we might want him to be here.
Okay.
What do you think?
Let's see what time it is. It's 11:30. Where are we going? Because a lot of it is, if we're going someplace that's going to have a noon rush or something, we probably want to start getting things ready to go now.
Oh, okay.
Any ideas that
Well, I was thinking of pyology. What do you think about that?
I've really gone away